All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody, it's Anchorman here, back from E3, back with the Multiverse podcast with my co-hosts, Fame Entertainment.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Fame Entertainment here from the Inner Circle, and man, we've had a bit of a layoff, but it's good to be back on the greatest podcast on a Monday. And yeah, man, it's good to be back. I'm glad you guys are checking in, tuning in, and watching this, man. I'm ready to get rolling. It's good to be back, man. It's good to be
And our other host, Undead.
Hey, everybody, back again on a Monday. Good to be back on the best podcast on Monday. Can't wait to dive into the topics this week.
All right, and man, I'm glad to finally be back. We've been off for about a month because I had to leave for E3 and everyone's busy with work and all that kind of stuff. I've been dying to get back. Honestly, I'm just glad I made it back. All right, so we got a couple topics we want to cover today. First things first, you guys check out Game of Thrones last night?
Oh, man,
I've been yelled at for months for people telling me to start watching that show, and I've yet to start watching it. I know I'm missing out. Everyone keeps telling me, and for some reason, I get too lazy to start it.
But it is that good. That's the thing. It really is dope.
You know, someone made me mad and told me it was better than Breaking Bad. And I'm like, no, writing-wise, Breaking Bad is the greatest show of all time. And I think that's what kind of got me away from this. I'm like, this show's not better than Breaking Bad. I'm not going to give it the time of the day because Breaking Bad is the greatest show that's ever been on any type of television screen anywhere of any time era. That is a fact.
Oh.
That's a tough one. I mean, because does it have better writing? I mean, because Game of Thrones, it has the benefit of being actually a book series, so it had success prior to the show. So, I mean, it has that benefit going for it. They are very different genres. I don't know. I can't make that claim that either one is better in terms of writing, but I don't know. I feel a much stronger connection with Game of Thrones than Breaking Bad.
And people like you are the reason why I won't give this show a time of day because I don't want to hear this better than Breaking Bad.
Oh my gosh,
my mind is made up. My mind is made up that Breaking Bad is the greatest show of all time, and everyone's gonna have to deal with that because it is.
You gotta look at it this way, like you know how everyone's like obsessed with Walking Dead. Everyone's like, oh, yes. Walking Dead. Like the thing is with Walking Dead is that Walking Dead, when that show comes on, all they do is some people just aren't going to die. Like Norman Reedus is not going to die, Carl's not going to die, and Rick's not going to die. And it's a thing. It's like the super popular characters will not die. But anybody who's introduced, they'll kill them off. But it's played off as random. Like you never know when they're going to die, but you know who's immune to the death. But Game of Thrones is they'll build multiple people up on purpose just so you like them, and then they'll take them away from you just to piss you off.
I've gotten to the point where I watch Game of Thrones. It's like as soon as I start liking someone, I'm like, oh, they're gonna die.
After Thursday, I have a 5-day mini vacation from work. I may start it, and if I'm not interested, if I'm not interested in this game, you guys owe me a 14-day Xbox Live card to make up for the fact that I spent 2 of my days watching this show.
I'll have to find one of those 14-day codes. Jeez, I don't know where to start. But all right. So yeah, I mean, because we brought up Game of Thrones mostly because France just it was Xbox France just announced a special edition Xbox.
And that thing is nice.
I'll be quiet. What do you guys think about it? Is it Fame? You already think you like it?
Yeah, I like it, dude. I mainly like it because it's different. I do like the Tony Stark Xbox One custom console that they did out there in France. Tony Stark was much better, but I like this one. This one's nice. I like it. I mean, it's got a lot going on. Don't get me wrong, but it's nice.
What about you, Nick?
Yeah, it's not bad. I definitely agree. I like the Tony Stark one better that they had, but it's definitely cool. And if the Xbox France keeps churning out all these really great custom consoles, I guess I'm gonna have to learn France and move.
I mean, it sucks that we don't get these. I know that you can't buy them, and they have to be one. And I don't think we can enter or win those consoles in the States. It just sucks that we don't get these type of contests here because these consoles look amazing. Like I said, if I would have won that Tony Stark console, you guys would never hear the end of it. My profile picture would be that console.
Man, I don't know. I look at this console and I'm just like, and if you guys don't know what we're talking about, please Google it real quick and you can see on the side. It looks, I don't know. It looks cool, but I wouldn't want to own one. I mean, like, where am I going to put that? It has all these random bands like coming out of it. It looks so weird. I mean, like I said, I'm
torn. You got it for free. You got it for free. You would.
If you actually Google, if you actually Google Game of Thrones Xbox One, the first thing that pops up is this Game of Thrones Xbox One Special Edition looks like a terrible cake. It's the first article that comes up.
I mean, the lights.
It looks really cool, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm torn.
It lights up on the side. That's cool, man.
But I think the controller looks like trash, though.
The controller is a little ugly. I think the console looks better than the controller. They could have did better with the controller. I think if they would have used the same kind of light gold that's sticking out of the console, they'd use that color instead of this dark dookie brown. It'll look a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I mean that was pretty cool. I mean, I won't lie. I mean, it looks cool in concept, but in actuality, I'm not digging it. But
yeah, I don't
anyway,
know
other than that, we actually had a bunch of news come out post E3 of a lot of new games coming out for backwards compatibility available on Xbox and from 360. So there were a couple of them. Nick, you were telling us about it. What were a couple of them?
Fallout New Vegas was the main one for me because that's the main one I want. I can't seem to get to work on my Xbox right now, but I think it's an issue on my end more than anything. So hopefully that'll work through. That was the main one I was excited for, though.
Mm-hmm. I'm just scrolling through a couple of them. I know they added XCOM. I think that was a month ago.
Yeah.
I know they added. Scrolling through something, trying to see if anything sticks out. SSX got added a little while ago, which actually that was the one I was the most excited about because that game was my chill game. I could just sit down and play that and then go to sleep right afterwards. I didn't get like hyped or anything. It was just enjoyable. They added Portal 2, so Portal 2 is back on. Let's see. Keep on scrolling.
I haven't got excited for a backwards compatible game in a while. Like, there's some stuff like I bought like toward the end before I got rid of my 360. I never got a chance to play. Like, even I know it's not the greatest game, but what people say, like Final Fantasy 13-2. Like, let that go backwards compatible. Like, I bought that right before I got rid of my 360, and I don't know. I haven't been excited for a game on backwards compatibility in a long time.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of games they added, like, but it seems like what they always do is they wait for a little bunch, even though they said they were going to start announcing them as soon as they were ready. It seems like a bunch of them are just conveniently ready all at the same time still. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of little games that come out, but I still enjoy them. Fallout New Vegas, I was so glad. I actually bought that digitally after they announced backwards compatibility, so I waited a year for that game. I was like, please, just bring it back. I'm waiting. Just bring it.
I was going to say, Fallout New Vegas I was really excited for, and the last one I was really excited for was them bringing Black Ops 1 to backwards compatibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty dope. I'm waiting for BioShock right now. They just got to bring BioShock backwards compatible, and I am set. Like, I won't ask for any more games to come backwards compatible.
Yeah, BioShock needs to become backwards compatible, or give me a trilogy full remaster. That'd be okay, too.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, I thought it was coming because I remember it had went on sale a few months back and it was like dirt cheap, like for the collections. I was like, oh, it's coming, and it never showed up.
All right. Let's see. I'm just sending out one last thing to somebody. All right. So yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about it. I mean, they have a couple more games. Like I said, I want to play BioShock. I want to play BioShock really bad again because that was a blast. I love BioShock. Like, I know they're doing this collection thing, which they've been hinting at for a long time, and all this other stuff. But so yeah, just really quickly before we get into the other topics for today, a lot of games were announced at E3. And like, this is the time of year where I sit down with whoever you're game sharing with, And I sit down and I talk with them. We're like, okay, I'm gonna pick up this game. You're gonna pick up this game. We're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, have you guys actually played that out, or do you know what games you're actually looking forward to at the end of the year?
Me, I already have Recore bought and paid for. I'm definitely gonna pick up Forza Horizon 3. I skipped on 2 and I regret it. And by the time I was going to go and buy it, I already knew 3 was coming out, so I decided not to do it. So I'm looking forward to that. Gears 4, I'm going to get it. I'm not necessarily just hyped for it because I play Gears, but I'm not like a really big Gears fan, mainly because I suck at the multiplayer, so I just play it for the story. But definitely Recore has my eye right now. That's really my most anticipated. I bought it and paid for it physical the moment I was able to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that reminds me, actually, towards the end of the show, we're going to do an E3 Q&A. So, like, I went to E3 for the first time, so if you guys have any questions about what it was like, anything I learned, please let us know in the chat, and I will make a note of it. But save your questions for the end of the podcast. We'll let you guys know when to give us those questions. So, like, I know, what about you, Nick? What are you looking for?
Well, the big one for me, and it's only because I really love the first game, the Fractured But Whole for South Park.
How could I forget that?
That's one of my most that's like one of my most anticipated games because it's just the perfect mix of RPG and South Park humor. So that I'm really looking forward to. Recore, I'm really looking forward to. Gears of War 4, I'm on the fence of. I'm playing through the trilogy right now for the first time. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, Nick, before you go, hey man, you gonna run a co-op together? I need the achievements for co-op, just for the story mode.
Sure.
Yeah, buddy.
And yeah, because that's about it. Like, I'm really limited on funds for the next, 6 months, so I really gotta pick and choose what I can save for, but South Park is a no-brainer, and if the Skyrim remaster is coming this year, then yes, that'll definitely be...
That is coming this year.
Then yes, that'll be in my shopping cart as well, because I need that to play that game for another 300 hours.
Dude, I need Anchorman to get on the South Park hype train because the Stick of Truth should have been Game of the Year and Fractured Butthole will be Game of the Year. Deal with it. I need Anchorman to get on the hype train, and we're gonna.
I gotta play Stick of Truth. I gotta play it first.
You haven't played Stick of Truth?
Nah.
I'm shaming you. Listen, buy Fractured Butthole, and then the pre-order bonus gets you Stick of Truth. Just play Stick of Truth first, and then just backdoor and play Fractured Butthole right after.
I'll think about it.
Do or do not.
Because I mean, for me, like I'm looking at a couple other games, and I'm trying to pace it out a little bit more. Like for me, I'm picking up We Happy Few, like when it comes out next month, and I'm gonna pick up Banner Saga 2. What's that?
I didn't know that was next month.
Yeah, it is.
Is that full price or is it?
That's the preview price, which I don't know how much that's gonna be really. But I guess based on the level that it's been in the past, it's basically about $30. We Happy Few.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, and most of those kind of games end up being about $30 anyway. So I'm gonna pick up Banner Saga 2, and there's actually a rumor currently that that's gonna be one of the games with gold games. So, which I hope so, because Banner Saga 1 had a very interesting art style, and I'm liking how Banner Saga 2 looks, and I saw the increases and changes that they made, and I'm really digging it. I know my GameShare partner is picking up Recore, Titanfall 2, and Skyrim Remastered, but my big AAA game I'm looking forward to is Mafia 3.
Oh, hell yeah. I've got that pre-ordered. I can't believe I forgot about it.
Oh my gosh, man, I'm really pumped for that. I really want to play that game. Like, I checked it out at E3, and oh my gosh, like 2K knows how to go all out. It was nuts. It was nuts.
I'm surprised no one's got Watch Dogs 2 on their hype list.
I mean, it's on there, but I'm like, I can wait.
I'll wait till there's 100 of them at my GameStop again for $15. It's okay.
Wait a minute. So, because I can't get off the South Park thing, why is there a South Park Fractured But Whole Gold Edition? What's the difference?
I don't know. DLC maybe?
There's actual story.
It's got to be fractured but whole.
There is a season's pass for this one, so that does mean there will be DLC on it.
Ah, it is fractured butthole.
Yeah, fractured butthole, but I say fractured butthole.
And they told you straight out in the title. The whole time.
Oh, wait a minute,
Yeah, no, the Steelbook Gold Edition gives you the game, the season's pass, the Coon figure, and in-game costumes.
What do you mean the Coon figure?
Well, that's a pre-order up here. I got the Coon figure on order. I don't get the Steelbook, though.
Gold Steelbook Edition, Fractured Butthole plus more, a season pass, Steelbook case, a set of physical something graphic prints with art and South Park Studios, and a set of in-game costumes and bonus perk to get fans started. For $100. I don't know. You know what? Screw it. I think I'm gonna get the season. I think I'm gonna get the Gold Edition. Damn it.
Oh man.
I'm gonna give away a sticker.
This is one of the larger topics for today, as we wait for his pre-order to go through. But so at E3 we had Sony made a surprise announcement, one I didn't think was actually going to happen, but it did, and it's the announcement of an exclusive Spider-Man game. And I got a couple thoughts about the game itself, and a couple thoughts about the overall announcement and such. So first off, I've fielded a bunch of these questions before I went to E3, and I said I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think Sucker Punch was making it, and I said the reason why was because Sony owns the Sucker Punch studio, and they'll never make a game like that. And I was right, by the way. I really want to emphasize I was right, because Sucker Punch isn't making it. Insomniac is not owned by Sony.
Yeah, but you said it wouldn't be exclusive.
Party developer. What was it?
You said it wouldn't be exclusive.
Yeah, I said it wouldn't be exclusive, but it looks like it is, and I'm disappointed by that, because I mean I like all Spider-Man games to come out, and I'm also kind of burned by it. Not in terms of the exclusive part, because I have a really hard time believing anybody when it comes to a Spider-Man game. I really do. And the only reason why is because Activision has destroyed that IP for so long. And it's like being in an abusive relationship, and like you finally switch over to somebody else and you're still a little hesitant.
I'm just wondering where the outrage is. It's a game that was always multi-plat, now it's exclusive, and there's no outrage.
Good point. No one's talking about it.
No one's outraged.
Well, the only reason no one's outraged is because the last good Spider-Man game was on the PS2.
Not even that. I'd say again, we have to start splitting hairs here. With the Spider-Man games, it's kind of odd because there was the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and those were garbage. I don't care what anybody says; those games were garbage. The web sling mechanic was close, but not really good. The fighting was generic as shit, and it was just really, and like the enemies were all the same, and it was boring. That game was such a waste of time. And but then there was Edge of Time, which was total trash. Shattered Dimensions, I didn't like the gameplay, but I give it a pass largely because it was more of an homage to Spider-Man fans, because like all the Spider-Men in that game were former Spider-Men, like from the shows. And so it was all the people like from the Fox series, the Fox 90 series. That voice actor was Spider-Man Noir. They had Neil Patrick Harris, who voiced the CG Spider-Man show, and he was the Amazing Spider-Man. And they had a couple of the people like that. So I mean, it was really cool for that little aspect of it, and seeing a lot of Spider-Man lore come together. But other than that, I mean, it wasn't very good. But then the only other one passable, which was before that, was Web of Shadows, and that game was pretty damn good. It had a few narrative problems, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah, but you have to go really far back to find a Spider-Man game that was decent, right?
Yeah, you got to go back for like at least 5 games.
So that's my thing. Is I think You know what? I think the hype behind this game would be a lot lower if it wasn't for console war back and forths. Because the only time I've not seen anyone been like, "Oh, this game looks amazing," all I've seen is "na na 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 na, we've got an exclusive, na 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 na." That's all I've been seeing about it. I haven't actually seen anyone actually making comments on how good the game looks, or how Insomniac did an amazing job with Sunset Overdrive, and some of those mechanics could play over, and it's going to be a good game. But I think if this had just been a multi-plot, I don't think you'd hear about it as much as you're still hearing about it now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little surprising because it is Marvel Studios. Well, not studios. It's Marvel, as in Disney Marvel, teaming together for this game. I mean, there's a couple of things about the gameplay we saw, and I'll talk about those later. But I want to get Fame's impressions first. Fame. Fame.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, the Spider-Man game. Thoughts?
I'm probably gonna pick it up. I'm not gonna lie, because if anything, my wife will play it because she's like die-hard Spider-Man. I'm not necessarily hyped for it. It's something I'm gonna pick up. I'm not shocked that it's exclusive. I'm surprised there's no outrage, but I mean, Sony has to pull something out of the hat, and they technically have the rights to them, so why not, go ahead and make the game exclusive? Sony doesn't have the rights to Spider-Man anymore?
No, they don't have the rights to the games. No, because this one is they've confirmed this is not a part of the movie license.
Yes, which is great,
because nothing to do with it. And Activision for the longest time actually had the rights to it.
I'm hearing they're going to stop basing the games off of their movies completely, which is, thank God. That was the worst thing that these movie games do, is try to base the game off the movie, and it's just horrible. It never works out right. But it's something I'm going to pick up. It won't be a day one buy. Like I said, if anything, it'll be something I know my wife could get into because she's a Spider-Man freak.
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple of good games out there. Like Spider-Man 2 is still kind of the holy grail of all Spider-Man games. It really was just amazing for that time frame. But I don't know. It was mostly the web slinging mechanic that was awesome. But for me, in terms of the games that I saw, I watched Venom 2 Million. You guys should go check out his channel. And he brings up a couple points about the game. It looks very similar in terms of aesthetic and gameplay to Amazing Spider-Man 2. It looks very similar. If you look at the web slinging section that they show, they don't show a lot in this trailer. So I mean, it's kind of premature to base the entire thing off of it, but it does look very familiar. Not just as a Spider-Man game, but even the little nuances like in the swing style. It looks like they even reused some of the animations, which is a little concerning. But at the same time, I gotta see more. I gotta see more of the gameplay. But for me, I'm just hoping it's not super generic in terms of character models, because Activision used to cut a lot of corners when it came to the game. So like they would have like maybe 2 or 3 alternate versions for a character model, or like for like an enemy model. Like let's say you're fighting a thug, and there's only like 2 or 3 options for how the thug will look. And it's just like wow, this is all anybody can afford. It's the same jackets and the same shirts. So, like, more options in that idea, like maybe like a GTA level of detail or differences, then I think I'll be fine. But I got to see more differences in terms of those models. So I just want to make sure they're not cutting corners. And the good thing is it is Insomniac, so I have more faith because it is Insomniac. But at the same time, it's just because that IP has been too scarred. I'm such a skeptic because of Activision for so long.
Yeah, I was gonna say Activision's ruined a lot of good franchises, and like if you look back, how many good not movies? We've had tons of great superhero movies. How many great superhero games have we really had?
Besides the Batman games?
Besides Arkham. Besides the Arkham series.
Ultimate Alliance was okay, but it wasn't. It was more of like a brawler kind of game. It was like same as the X-Men not X-Men Apocalypse. It was what was that game series? There was like a 3-part series. It was on GameCube and PS2. It was an X-Men thing. I can't remember what it was called. It was the Apocalypse storyline or something. That was pretty fine. But like, those are more of like a top-down, your group of 4, that kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like they're not. It's not really like a third-person or a first-person action-adventure game. It's more of a walk around the cells and kill everything.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
What is that game? Let me look that up real quick. That's just gonna kill me because I had the second one. All right. X-Men Legends.
Oh yeah.
I had X-Men Legends 2: Rise of Apocalypse, 2005. Wow, that was a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, I really want the Spider-Man game to be good. But like I said, I'm just a huge skeptic, and I need to see that it's not just some sort of project. And let's talk about Activision for a minute. Activision has been so one-sidedly Sony this generation.
Oh, big time.
Does anyone else notice this?
Dude, they're in bed with Sony this gen.
Oh yeah.
Call of Duty was the start of it.
Because like last gen it was like they tried to play the field a little bit, like they weren't trying to go all one way or the other. Like it was like, okay, Call of Duty's with Xbox, the Spider-Man games have always been with PlayStation, but we're also gonna do. So when Destiny came out, they said, oh, it's gonna be with PlayStation. So Xbox has got Call of Duty, PlayStation's got Destiny, and Spider-Man. And so it was like, okay, that's kind of balanced, but now it's like everything is totally Sony on this one. And so they're doing a lot of deals and such. And so one of the deals is they're going to be remastering Crash Bandicoot and such. And I'm just like, I don't know. Normally, most companies try to do some sort of balance, and Activision just doesn't seem to care anymore.
I think the main reason is, with 40 million PS4s on the market, Activision's just dumping all their money in the pot that they think will make them the most amount of money with the minimal amount of effort. Because with Activision, it's about making the most amount of money without doing with the complete lack of innovation. And to be brutally honest, I'm okay with Activision being completely in bed with Sony because I'm tired of Activision pushing crappy games on my Xbox.
I just don't see why you would alienate a whole other 20,000+ fans. Yes, 40,000 is great, but you're gonna not get money from whole other 20 million, people. That's I don't know, man. But this is why I always say it's best to own all consoles. You never miss on the game. I have an Xbox. I have a PS4. I didn't get the Wii, especially when I heard there's gonna be NX. NX is gonna be backwards compatible. So all the games I missed on Wii, like Xenoblade Chronicles, I could play on my NX. But this is why I say it's great to own all consoles because you'll never miss out on a single game. Because no matter who's in bed with who, I won't miss out. So people get to go around bragging, oh, I got this on my PS4. Well, guess what? I got the same game on my PS4. So you never miss out if you buy all consoles.
Yeah, true. I don't like when companies do that though. I mean, like even EA, like who's in bed with Microsoft this gen, at least throws bones. They throw bones to other people. Like, all right, yeah, we're doing EA Access is only gonna be on Xbox, but yeah, we'll let PlayStation have here's Titanfall marketing rights.
No, they offered EA Access to PlayStation. They turned it down.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that counteracts with not Microsoft. Sony's got their own game streaming services and everything else. They don't want the competition on that, so that's understandable. But at the same time, EA's in bed with Microsoft pretty heavy. But at the same time, it's not that how do I put this? What I'm looking more for is with EA Access, you get to play games early, which is really cool. And with Activision just sending Call of Duty over to PlayStation, they get everything 30 days earlier. They on the COD 4 remaster, they get the campaign 30 days earlier than Xbox players do. And as long as you're getting the same content, I really don't care if I have to wait a little bit for it. As long as I get to play the same thing. I get more peeved off when, games like Watch Dogs, I think Batman, Arkham Knight did it too, where you're paying for the same game, you're pre-ordering the collector's edition, and you're not getting the same content. It's PlayStation exclusive missions or Xbox exclusive missions. If you pay your $79.99 for the game plus the Seasons Pass, you should always have access to all the content available.
Yep,
you should not be creating walls like that within walls. Like DLC is a paywall in the first place, but putting another wall after the paywall is just ludicrous. It shouldn't be done by either side.
I can't think of a game that Xbox has done that with this generation. You know, that whole situation with Batman and then with Destiny, we had a year. I can get 30 days, we'll call it about a year of exclusive content. That is ridiculous. I can't think of a game that's happened with on Xbox whatsoever. I think that's completely messed up and ludicrous for these companies to do that. On either side, I think it's wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say, because even with Tomb Raider being a timed exclusive, I believe when that comes to PlayStation, all the DLC will be available to them when that releases. I believe.
Yeah, the thing with Destiny in particular, with the 1 year exclusive stuff, and like I might be wrong with this, but I'm pretty sure this is what happened. When they eventually allow like some of the guns, like I think one of the strikes or something that was exclusive to PlayStation, when they allowed that to come over, like it was still scaled down, so it was basically irrelevant. It was like, okay, yeah, because they were already on year 2 for the DLC or not DLC, but their season, and so like there are weapons that were year 1 weapons, which are considered trash and weren't very good at all. And then they were like, oh, yeah, you've been waiting for a year for this? Yeah, it's not even going to scale up or anything. It's just worthless.
Tomb Raider and Dead Rising. Okay, so I saw you just posted about Dead Rising 4. Now, is Dead Rising 4, you think it's coming to PS4 or is it just coming to Steam like Dead Rising? Dead Rising 3 was also a timed exclusive, but it never ended up on PlayStation 4.
That is true. I don't know if it's going to PS4 for Dead Rising 4. Tomb Raider, yes, Tomb Raider was a deal that Microsoft did do. Like that is something that does need to be mentioned. That Tomb Raider was.
Because see, everything I'm reading, it says that Dead Rising 4 will be just like Dead Rising 3. That's everything I'm reading. It'll be just like Dead Rising 3 as far as time exclusivity, which means it'll be 1 year for Xbox and Windows 10, and then after that year, it's headed to Steam. So, because that's what happened. From everything I'm hearing, it's just like Dead Rising 3. So, if that's the case, then Dead Rising 4 won't go to Xbox. I mean, it won't go.
The thing is, it's Capcom. Capcom is how do I put this delicately? They hang out on the corner, and anybody who comes around who's willing to pay the money, they'll do whatever they got to do. Like you got Dead Rising 3 that happened with Xbox, then you have Dead Rising 4 happening now, and you had Street Fighter 5. They'll make an exclusive game. They have no qualms, but Square Enix said that one time, yeah, that was enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Capcom and Square Enix, like both those companies are like they're not. Well, they were struggling for the longest time. Square Enix almost went bankrupt because they can't put out a game in a series without having to wait 7 years for it. But like Capcom and Square Enix, like I know a lot of people are upset with Square Enix because a lot of their games are coming to Xbox now, like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom of Hearts 3. All these games are coming to Xbox, and these used to be primarily Sony adventures. Like I know Final Fantasy's been on Xbox for a while, but being able to get like Final Fantasy VII on the Xbox was a huge deal, and also Kingdom of Hearts 3 coming over. My only qualm with Square Enix is if they want to bring these games over. Like if you're going to give me Kingdom of Hearts 3, I want Kingdom of Hearts 1 and 2 as well.
Yeah, that is a concern.
Don't just make one game available on the console. That'd be like if I'm trying to think of a game you could do this with. Trying to think of a 3-part game that you could do this with. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but you shouldn't make the third installment of a game that builds on each other not available in the market. Like I've played 1 and 2 because I owned a PlayStation for the longest time. But Capcom and Square Enix, basically, they're like, we'll make a game for you. You just got to pay us and fund the game. Which is, I kind of feel like why Dead Rising 4 is in this limbo right now is everyone's not sure who's footing the bill 100%. because there's no details on that right now. And if Microsoft foot the bill for Dead Rising 4, you know for sure it will not be going to PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, actually speaking of Rise of the Tomb Raider, I'm actually looking at something now. There's actually a lot of suggestions that Rise of the Tomb Raider won't be coming to PS4 anymore.
What? Who
And
said that?
they're citing that it had such low sales and that it's been a year and that it's just there's no point even releasing it.
Where are you hearing this?
I'm looking at some website here, and they're actually citing Michael Pachter and a couple other guys.
I doubt they won't release it.
Yeah, there's no way with a 40 million install base they wouldn't release it. They'd still hit 1 million sales, no problem on it, even a year later. Now
they're arguing that since it's post Uncharted 4, and that it's a year afterwards, people would forget that it actually came out.
No, see, that's my biggest problem is, like, Uncharted 4 is a great game, but people are giving it too much legs. Like, there are still a lot of people playing the online, but in my opinion, like, for adventure games, I beat them once, or usually twice, because I'll do a run on the hardest difficulty the second time around. But most adventure games have a 2-play lifespan for me, and I don't think that Uncharted 4 being a huge success is going to affect Tomb Raider. And if you won't buy Tomb Raider just because you like Uncharted 4, you're missing out on a really good game, and vice versa.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that article now. They're saying if they do release it, it'd be like $20 on a PS4, which I think it'll sell like gangbusters if it's $20.
Well, the important part that I'm reading from this is actually the most interesting part, is that is because they were expecting, like, for Square Enix to go out on Sony's stage and announce, oh yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider coming to PS4 this year, blah, 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 and have that big publicity, but they didn't. Square Enix had very little to no presence on that stage other than that Final Fantasy deal.
Dude, I haven't bought Rise of the Tomb Raider yet, but if it goes to PS4 for $20, you better believe I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Well, see, if they want to get full price out of it, and this may piss off a few people, I believe if they want to get their full money's worth for the game, do like a Game of the Year edition, include all the DLC with it, and still charge people $60. People will still buy it. Because the DLC for that game is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, man. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, timed exclusivity is it's a fickle thing because, like, they say, like, when you talk sales, the first 2 weeks of your game's release are what matters, generally, for your sales numbers.
Yeah, but it's really the first month. Because that week 1 sales are the people who were waiting for it and who had it pre-ordered. And then after that, it's the buzz and the hype that comes out afterwards. And that people say, oh, this game's really good or something like that. Like, I bet Doom was like that. I bet a lot of people, the first week sales were okay for, like, the pre-orders, and, like, a couple people were interested in the day 1 stuff. But then it was, like, when the word came out, the people were like, oh, Doom's great. Then the reviews came out that increased sales. But that took time for that to come out.
Yeah, but see, with a lot of games, especially games like Doom, like, I initially held off on Doom, and I based my purchase of Doom off of talking with you about it, because I am always very nervous about rebooted franchises.
Mm-hmm.
But Doom has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's been an absolute blast. I don't regret a thing about it.
No, it's the first game I've paid full price for in a long time, and I definitely don't regret it.
All right. So we got one more topic to talk about before we go into the Q&A session. So for those of you still watching, we're going to be doing a Q&A session about E3. So if you've got any questions about what E3's like, any things that we learned, just go ahead and ask them in the comments section while we talk about this next topic. So this is probably the big rumor of the week, and one that I hope is actually true, but I'm kind of hesitant about it. So there is a rumor going on that Disney and Fox are currently in talks for a X-Men Avengers crossover. And this isn't technically the first time we've heard this rumor before. I mean, we've heard this several times in the past, but it sounds kind of credible seeing the last little bit that's occurred with Sony and then also Fox of how their last few outings weren't particularly good, with the exception of Deadpool. But actually, Deadpool, if you look at the release schedule and the budget they gave it, they were putting that movie out to die. They put it in February. The month movies go to die. And it was kind of just a surprise that it lasted this long and did so well.
It did great.
Yeah, but X-Men Apocalypse did trash. It did terrible numbers.
And it wasn't a bad movie. I liked X-Men Apocalypse, honestly.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, but I think the main difference between, like, as you said, Deadpool releasing in February was like them just sending it to go die. But the thing is Deadpool was innovative for a superhero movie, as in the fact that I find a lot of these movies kind of blend together. Like, it's no fault of it may be fault of the writing, but a lot of the superhero movies tend to blend together, and Deadpool really stuck out because Deadpool's always, the character itself sticks out from the normal writing they do, but the style of movie they had from it was just phenomenal because it was a superhero movie with no holds barred. There was jokes in there that you'd never hear any other time, and it like made fun of serious situations, everything else. It was a different style, so of course it's going to do well. But I don't want them to swing too far to that side now. Like, not every superhero movie has to be Deadpool level of violence, language, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, it was more by the statement I made of that they sent that movie out to die. It wasn't so much saying that the movie was bad or anything. It was just that Fox themselves didn't have faith in the movie. They didn't think it was going to sell well or do that well. Like, you really don't release any movies in February. Like look what it was going up against. Let's just double check what movies are coming out in February. February 2016.
I was gonna say I only went to the theaters once in February, and that was go see Deadpool. So I don't think there was much in the way of.
All right, these are the movies that came out in February. Josh Groban stages live. The Choice. Hail Caesar. Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. I don't know what these are. Zoolander 2. Cabin Fever. I'm really looking here. I'm not joking. I've never heard of any of these. The Twisted Sister documentary. Gods of Egypt. Eddie the Eagle. The sequel to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which I think that was actually Netflix, I think. Yeah, that was it. Like, there's nothing, there's no competition out there. That is the month they send everything out to die. But like I said, that was more of the studio didn't think it was going to do well, so they just put it out there and saw what happened.
You know, but talking about the crossover, the only thing I want to see at some point, and it got to be soon because I know Steve Rogers is going to die off sometime soon. I just want to see Steve Rogers, and even if it's just for a half a minute with Wolverine, and I'll be happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be happy then. That's all I want to see. You know, what I expected. Remember doing Wolverine's first movie, where they did the whole little montage through time. I expected to see Captain America's shield at some point throughout that montage, and I was so disappointed when we didn't.
Yeah, that would have been so cool.
Yes, it would have. That would have been nice.
But yeah, that would have been such a blast to see that happen. But yeah, that was back whenever Marvel wasn't a force to be reckoned with, just yet. Anyway, but I want to see a crossover. I don't know how it's going to work because they built up these two universes so separated for so long. And like suddenly introducing mutants, yeah, I don't know how that would like really play out. I don't know, but I had a couple of ideas of how they could integrate it and do something like, okay, so at the end of Apocalypse, you got the 90s X-Men lineup, and what you could do is you could play it off like I think it's the all-new X-Men that they did. They're currently in the season, or they're currently in the runnings right now. It's basically you take the X-Men that were in the 60s and flash them forward to 2016, and it's the old team without all the experience up with their current selves fighting up close. But you do that, but you take that team and let them go into the future, but in another reality. So they're actually
because the current problem is the whole issue with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. That creates so much of an issue because they're supposed to be genetically enhanced in a Marvel and MCU, but we all know they're mutants and they're Magneto's kids. Well, in Fox's universe, well, not in MCU, Quicksilver's dead. In Fox universe, he's alive. And in Fox universe, he's Magneto's son, but he doesn't mention nothing about having a sister, which we know to be Scarlet Witch. They have to find a way to make all of that make sense. And talking about going through time and all that stuff, it's a slap in the face. Oh, this is a different dimension now. It's a slap in the face.
No, I would say you bring the X-Men to the MCU, and you just say, yeah, we're different dimensions, whatever.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be that whole. They will have to completely abandon Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Well, I mean, they already killed off Quicksilver in the MCU, so I mean that's not a big deal. And they actually killed off Scarlet Witch in the X-Men movies in Apocalypse. That little girl that dies when his daughter. Yeah. I'm like 90% certain that's Scarlet Witch.
I don't know. I think with their track record, trying to merge the two universes, their track records with films don't give me a lot of hope.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if anybody can do it, it's Marvel Studios. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they got. As long as they don't disrespect me, I'll be happy. Just don't, don't treat us like idiots and slap us in the face. Just make it make sense.
Yep, that's all we're asking for. All right, so that concludes the Multiverse podcast in proper. We're going to go into the Q&A session, which is going to be exclusive to YouTube. So everybody watching us here on YouTube will have access to this the Q&A session. So if you guys are in the chat currently, leave some questions in there about you want to know about E3. I just got back, so I'll answer anything you guys got to ask. Real quick, E3 is an important thing that I think every gamer needs to do at least once. There are some people who do it every year. I don't think it's like a necessity to do it every year, though. I mean, it's really cool. The first time you go is absolutely amazing. You're starstruck. It's amazing, but it's something where it's not going to change too heavily every year, from what I gather. And so, I mean, it's an absolutely amazing time. You go out there and you just see people you've read about, people you've seen on video, people you've heard in podcasts or something like that, and you just know who they are. And you have that connection. You talk to each other. It's like I met people who I talked to on Twitter for years, and when we met in person, it didn't matter, and it was just immediately a switch. Like, oh yeah, we've been friends for a long time. It's amazing. I had a great time doing it. But I'll let you guys have time for some questions. Any of you guys fame, Nick?
I can't remember who I was talking to about it, but I heard the Bethesda part. You guys got like turkey legs and beer?
Oh my gosh. let me tell you about this. Bethesda right now holds the title, the belt, for the best party at E3. They hold that right now. And it just... it was one of those things you just had to be there. Like you turn this corner and right to your right is this open air bar with these like Elder Scrolls banners everywhere, and they're giving out beer and giant turkey legs. And you go into the middle and they have this open bar, just anything you want, already paid for. People walk around with food. You could meet Adam Sessler and Todd Howard and all those guys in there. They had a Doom tournament. They had a VR station for HTC Vive. They had the Elder Scrolls Champions game everywhere. It was amazing. And they had Blink-182. It was absolutely amazing, man. Ask anybody who went. it's a no, like hands down. Bethesda won that party. It was amazing.
That's dope. That's dope.
But, we got a first question from D.S. Wilson, 1976. What do you think about God of War E3? I got to watch that through the live stream, and I mean, it looked like a good game. I'm interested. I want to play it. My only two things are, first off, the iconography and stuff looked a little too Skyrim-esque to me. It looked a little too close to that. But I mean, you can't really do too much because it's Nordic, and the imagery in Nordic mythology is pretty strong. But the other thing was, it didn't look like it played like a God of War game. It looked a little bit like Last of Us or Dark Souls, somewhere in there. That kind of close third-person camera action. I don't know. Something felt really weird. Let's see, another question. We got one question from All-Star Gamer 1000. Said, was it true that no one showed up at the Days Gone booth? All right, let me clarify something. When we talk about booths, not all booths are created equal. Let me clarify. So, like at the Xbox and PlayStation booths, they would have like 3 different types of booths. You'd have one which was like a string of just a line of people playing the same game, and maybe a developer or a representative standing nearby watching you play the game, answer any questions you had, something like that. And it was such a... Those are kind of like the bottom tier stuff. And then you would have like sections that were like special play sections, like Battlefield 1 had a booth, Farpoint had a booth. A lot of the VR games had booths like that. You'd go and check those out, and like it was a little more stylized. Like Sea of Thieves had one which was like a hardwood floor. You felt kind of like you were on a pirate ship kind of thing. Halo Wars, they put you in this secluded area and made you put on these like not helmets, but like headsets. It made you feel like you're a commander taking charge of the fight or something like that. That was it was set up like that, and then you would have booths that weren't really even booths. They were more like theaters. So like at Days Gone, they had Sony had like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 theaters, but it was spread out. Like they had like one VR theater. They had one. There's another theater. I can't remember what it was. There's some weird section over there near the Gran Turismo setup. And then there were 3 theaters all back to back, and that was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, not Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Days Gone, and God of War. So really, they weren't really booths as much as they were theaters. So I can't, like, I'd say there was no one there, I think was false. I mean, people were there, but it wasn't packed. It wasn't like this super packed out line all the time. So, I hope that answers the question on that one. Let's see, what else was there? The show floor was pretty awesome. I mean, you had a lot of people walking around. Like I got to meet Greg Miller and Jack Tretton, and I got to meet what's his name? The guy from Psychonauts, and Tim Shaver.
Wow. There you go.
Tim Shaver. It was one of those Tims. So I got to meet those guys, and they were all at the E3 show floor. And like, there's a ton of people. They're just floating around. Like, it's not a big deal. Just it was really amazing. You just meet the most random stuff. So you guys are still tuning in right now. We're answering questions about E3, or I am, and really anything you guys want to know about. Anything else, Undead or Fame?
Not that I could think. I pretty much talked to you before and after E3. So
yeah.
Not that I can think of, man.
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, E3, it's an amazing experience. Everyone needs to do at least once. Make the pilgrimage to LA, and it's actually pretty manageable in terms of cost. I mean, you could do the trip under $1,000 if you really wanted to. Like, it's not that bad. I mean, like the big thing you're gonna pay for is airfare. And if you're staying with people, you can find a pretty cheap living arrangement for the week.
One thing I will say, I'm excited to go next year. To be my first time going next year, and to be there live for that Scorpio reveal is going to be, because I'm like 99.999% sure they're going to reveal it at next year's E3, and I can't wait. That's going to be amazing.
Yep, I can't wait. It's gonna be dope. But we'll see how that goes. So if there aren't any other questions, we're gonna take the rest of the night off, enjoy ourselves, and yeah. So anything else, guys?
Now that I think of it, make sure you guys check out the channel, man. Damien T, I appreciate all the support I can get, and make sure you guys, as always, get all your news from tickgn.com, and make sure you check out every podcast on the docket, whether it's Tick Podcast, Tick United, Multiverse, of course, and the Writer's Blog. Make sure you guys check out all the great podcasts under the Inner Circle Network.
All right. Oh, and also we have a giveaway to announce.
Yes, so a giveaway should be up later tonight. If not, it will be up in the morning. If you guys know me, if you guys follow me, you guys know I'm always into giving back to the community. And I am happy to announce that we will be giving away a copy of Gears of War 4. It's one of the most anticipated games coming out this year, and we will be giving away a copy. Possibly two, definitely going to be one. So make sure you guys keep on the lookout. You will see it posted on our website, tickgn.com. Make sure you guys look out for it, and make sure you guys enter the win, man. You guys know it's something I've been doing for a while, something I will continue to do, especially for big title releases. Last one we did was for Uncharted 4. So make sure you guys look out for the Gears of War 4 giveaway.
All right, sounds good. Anyway, we'll do our final shout-outs real quick to everybody. So we'll start with Nick.
It's great to be on the podcast again tonight. You can find me again tomorrow night on the Tick Writer's Block podcast. And I have video dropping on Wednesday, which is going to be very topical about what's been going on gaming-wise. It's going to be a good one.
We also had Fame Entertainment here tonight.
Hey guys, once again, make sure you guys check out the channel. Go like and subscribe. Everything that I do is much appreciated. And like I said before, got your gamer news from tickgn.com. Enter the website. Enter the contest for Gears of War 4. Make sure you guys go check out Undead, man. Check out channel. It's good stuff. Make sure you guys check me out tomorrow on the Writer's Block, and check me out Thursday on a new podcast. It's the Xbox versus PlayStation podcast, hosted by myself and Nicodemus X.
And this has been Anchorman V2 here. Glad to be back. We're going to get back in the swing of things, doing this every week as usual now that we kind of have our regular coverage is back to normal. So be sure to check us out. We're all on Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. Be sure to check us out on our Twitter accounts. Same thing as you guys see up here. And I will see you guys later. Remember, this has been the Multiverse Podcast, the greatest podcast on Mondays. See ya.
Yeah, buddy.